All right, man, we're back on Loose Talk Podcast. You know how it is. AOT2, Steve Dede. My name is Osags. And we have in the house, I think it's safe to call them OGs, right?
Yeah, easily.
Young OG.
Easily. Okay, let's say young
Old
OGs.
OG.
Yeah.
No, you're cut from the same cloth.
Nah, man.
You're cut from the same cloth.
Nah.
As a matter of fact, I knew AQ before I knew Loose Cannon.
Yeah, but it
one of
doesn't
them.
mean young AG OG.
I was in SS2 when I saw your video.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I was
Yeah.
17.
Well,
This
you're an
thing-
OG, bro.
No.
You're an ancestor.
Eh?
Old OG. Look at this. Look at white. Look at this.
No,
White.
because he
Oh,
has
my
more
beard is
beards
green.
than you.
White
Yeah,
beard.
and that's because you shave all day.
No, I don't shave all day. I just keep it clean.
It's the same thing we're saying.
I just keep it clean.
It's the same
It's
thing we're
terrible.
saying. Anyways, man, we have Loose Cannon and AQ in the
AQ.
building. Crown.
Crown, man.
So guess what, guys? Quick question. There's no group name.
No.
It's not a group.
So it's not a group.
Yeah.
It's two guys who came together to do a project.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
But you know how two people come together and do a project and they still have like a name?
Yeah, like the throne.
Primo and
Like,
Royce 59 and his
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
I think Elzai and one other guy came together and they did something
Next
together.
question. It's not happening.
It's not happening. I want to hear from Luz because it looks like Luz is thinking
I
about
don't like. No, I never thought about it. I don't really care for it. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's not our job. That's people like. I bet Hove and Ye didn't sit down and say,
Say throne,
like, call us
yeah,
the throne.
throne,
Like
yeah.
people have
Because
started
they
calling
already
us
called
crown or whatever.
Yeah,
and
those
I-
crown boys.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, those
but
crown
hey,
boys. I heard.
it is what
I
it
heard
is,
something.
man.
I guess it helps. I mean, sometimes it helps with branding. But then again, I guess it's also very important to make your names pronounced right now.
Individually, yeah.
You understand? To further buttress the point, this is AQ, this is Loose Cannon. I think it's very important as well.
You don't think that's done already?
I think it's there, but I think it can be done more because there's still a fan
Okay, fair
base,
enough.
like, going mainstream, going really mainstream. There's still a fan base that needs to explore your music.
Yeah,
And
especially,
you know how we're having the
coming
conversation.
from M and a lot of his fan base now
Yeah.
started asking, oh, no, they
Yeah.
knew him, of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I mean, he's not new to this game or to
Mm-hmm.
this. I don't buy into this whole. We're having a conversation yesterday, and somebody in the office was talking about how this was so genius to do a project together. It's surprising that you people didn't think of it before now.
Mm.
And I was just like, I don't really like this dude. Like,
Hater. Hey,
like I don't like.
Hey. See,
Yeah,
I just
I'm just-
stepped in the
I'm
chop
just-
city, brought hip hop back in 1 year.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
That's how you
the
feel?
hell you want to compare?
That's
Standing on top of your
that
top
is story.
tier. But
That's
what
the
were
story
they
and sticking
doing?
to it.
That's not the story. That's not the story.
We was
It's
trying
not
to make
fiction.
money. Huh?
It's not fiction.
What?
Are you not making money now?
I've been making money,
No. You're making more money now.
but I've been making money.
But you're making more money now.
How much have we made since you got on board?
Don't call the accountant. Just
Exactly.
Yes.
So,
I mean,
You might
you're on the
think-
charts, man, nigga.
nigga, really? I've been putting artists on the charts.
You've been putting
I don't even have to
artists,
be
but
there.
you
Have you ever put anybody on the charts? You should thank me.
uh,
Exactly.
I have.
All right. Congrats.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
Anyways, man,
as
we
I was
have-
saying, sorry, right? So somebody was like, this was so, what's the word they're using? Cross marketing or what's the word they're using? Never mind.
Yeah.
Like this was so brilliant for the both of you guys. It's surprising that you people had not thought of
Thought
this
about this.
a while ago. And I'm just like, man, these things happen when they happen.
I guess
Right.
things have to build up.
Yeah, I thought about it, by the way.
But I guess things also have to
He
build
was
up.
the,
There needs to
Thank you
be-
was the accolade.
You can't
badly.
just like, you have the conversation and you guys are working together, then all of a sudden it happens. The chemistry has to build
But
up.
look
to
at
the
what
point
is happening. Look at what is happening, right? You have AQ, Loose Cannon, MI, Black Bones. And this is one really big name and then, 3 other rappers that are
Yeah.
doing their thing, do you understand? And look at what is happening. Imagine if an Olamide, MI, Vector, do you understand? Imagine if that was the rollout.
Yeah.
Just imagine what can happen.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is collaborations are necessary.
Yeah,
Very
true.
important.
Definitely see how they can work.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Even if it's not albums. but
Collaborations
coming
are
together
necessary, right? They've always been necessary, but it's tough to pull off. So let's not sit down there
Yeah,
and act
because-
like
yeah,
we
but
didn't make huge
Why do you think it's
sacrifices.
tough to pull off? What
This
are the
guy-
factors
this-
that come into play here?
Okay, we are two totally different people. We approach work,
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
right? He
You
has
can
been
even-
a one-man wrecking crew for.
Yeah.
Longest
for a
Right.
long
For
time.
over
Then
a
now
decade.
he comes in a situation where you have to work in a
young, at the young,
right.
young
So
OG.
before when we started making the record, I told him this record is going to be the best possible record it could be if Jude, when we're done making the record, we give it to him and he
Tweaks it.
Yeah.
tweaks it, right. We agreed on that.
I wasn't with it at first, but
Hold on, I'll tell the story, right?
Yeah.
So now we recorded, the recording process was easy. We probably did on my mama, I'll say 13, 14 sessions. And we're done
Drop the
recording.
verses, boom,
Boom,
get
boom,
out.
boom, 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 right?
Yeah.
Okay, now give Emma music. Okay, uncle, let's get you in the studio for one weekend. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Em is very intentional, so we can sit in the studio for 24 hours and
now music we dey
we
listen
go dey
to.
jam, we go dey
Yeah, listen to music.
work there.
You leave there by 4 a.m.
Hey, yo,
Not doing anything.
hey, yo,
But I'd seen it so many times.
hey, yo,
No, I wasn't worried.
No,
I
you
knew
know-
that that's how it
you
is.
know the process already.
This dude was
In
like,
a fucking hurry, man.
Q will call me at 6 a.m. like, bruh,
Guy, man.
What the
this
fuck
shit
just
gotta
happened?
go. Like this.
Like what the fuck just happened? Like I left my house.
when did this recording
Q was
start?
pressed.
When did the recording start? When
The
did you
first-
start the first song?
The
recording?
first song we recorded it when we did the podcast with Show Them that same day. So I think that was October-ish.
This was
The
this
podcast,
was
that was
a week
September.
after the greatest podcast you ever did. in your
Yeah,
life.
right. So that's September, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that day because they came in the studio. We recorded, and that day, me and AQ also said, "You are going to meet in the studio." After
We didn't
this
plan
podcast."
to record though. We
Ab-
came
absolutely.
to just listen
to music, right? So we did the podcast with Show Them. Everybody dispersed. M had to leave, and that was when we just got the first bottle of Blue Swift. You remember?
Yeah.
So we kept shouting it out in the podcast, whatever. When we're done
Free
with that,
advert.
I mean, shout out to them guys. They've been supportive. We got Tech had to leave, so Tech bounced immediately.
Yeah.
Tech doing tech things.
And we thought it would be Ghost.
No, Ghost. Me and Ghost, we have this thing where anytime we link up,
Yeah.
is my.
It's a situation.
They call themselves Sandra, and I don't know what it
There's
means.
a
It's-
story.
there's
they
a
had-
backstory.
there's a
Oh, you
backstory
know
behind
about it.
I don't know, but I'm trying to get that story too.
So, now you've put this thing now. Sandrine left, and Sandrino was in
El
the studio.
Sandrino.
Like what?
Sandrine left, Sandrino was in the studio. So, this was when Loaded Locks just went to Flex,
Fu-
right?
yeah, Mhm.
Remember?
Flex.
And
Yeah.
scattered
And scatter
Flex.
the whole damn thing.
So we watched that clip. We're watching a few clips of hip hop clips on YouTube. Boom, 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 boom.
I hate it when it does that. By the way,
What?
boom, 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 boom. And he's going to be doing it a lot.
Yeah,
So
but he has to
Yeah,
fast
but that's
the
like
story.
we're doing. Yeah, you get like you feel me.
Sagi does that a lot. Sagi does that a
So
lot.
Yeah.
then I go in the folder and I start playing beats. I had worked on a project that I was like, okay,
That was
this is
never
never
gonna come out.
going to come out, right? So
Yeah.
after Gemini project, I had a project that was ready to come out. It was called
Terrible
The Biggest,
project.
right? And I was like, it's never going to come out,
What did you? What did you call?
The Biggest, right? So I was like, yeah,
The
whatever,
what?
right? You deaf?
Can you let him tell this story, please?
Right, so I was like, I'm playing music. Then as I play, that was a Reinhard production.
Yeah.
I played the record. Him and Ghost, they lost their minds. They're like, play that shit
That
again.
beat was
Play it again. You know what? In fact, Ghost asked for so he had my laptop like this, and he wrote, till tomorrow I still have on the notes.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
he wrote his verse on my laptop. I wrote my verse on my phone. Did you have a pen and pad or something?
Yeah, off the top.
There's something like
Off the top.
Don't even try. Don't even
Okay, let me say my part.
He
So,
was proud,
let
man.
me say my part. Like when Ghost was on his 16th bar,
Yeah.
I was on 4 bars.
Because Ghost was ready.
He had
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean I don't mean like he wrote and came
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah, but
he
he
was
was-
just in that
That
place.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The energy was
So-
with him. Yeah.
Like, and then I was going after him. So I'm like, what is this guy on?
I
Right?
know. I fuck with Q because he's not going to remember this. Q feels he's the best thing that happened to rap music.
Yeah.
No, we all
am,
know that.
right,
We all
right.
know.
No.
We all
But
know
I
that.
am. But
When
I
we're
am.
in the
It's okay,
studio,
it's okay.
I just why I'm like, Baba, Just leave this one. This guy don't scatter.
Yeah.
It pissed him off to his soul.
I told Ghost, like, no disrespect.
You understand?
I have
just
to
told him, like,
respectfully
"No,
disagree.
this guy ain't scatter."
I will have to respectfully
He
disagree.
was like,
I told Ghost,
This
like,
thing really
no
pissed him off.
disrespect, but I have to respectfully disagree.
Yeah.
So do your thing and I'll go. Yeah, I still feel I had the best verse on that song. No
went
disrespect again.
into a different place.
So that's what now motivated me to get
be on
my
point, yeah.
like. I was still on 8 bars while he was voicing, and it was 24 bars, right?
Yeah, I
I
think
was
so,
like,
yeah,
this is
24.
not going to happen because there were a bunch of people, Chocolate City staff and everyone. They're just okay. This is
This how it goes
a
down.
mad session. So
It was
let's
such
see.
a moment because till tomorrow
Yeah.
they like it was so exciting
that
for them.
moment,
It was
yeah.
so exciting.
And I guess
So
it was the
imagine
impromptuness of it.
imagine
it happened randomly.
Yeah.
Imagine if Ghost had finished and everybody would now be like, Q, it's your turn now. And I'll
Oh
now
no,
be
sorry.
like,
I still,
Okay, so you were on already. You were on your bar already writing stuff.
yeah, I was,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
you know
I
you
wasn't
are-
ready. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
when he
you're
was
struggling,
voicing, I was on my
right?
8th bar.
Oh, okay.
You're writing, maybe you're not writing
you're
as
not
fast
writing
as you.
as fast
Maybe
as
you're
you-
trying
Yeah.
to do too much.
Yeah.
Then when he puts his verse down, you're like, "Whew, okay, let's go.
So
Exactly.
so he did the first take, and it was mad. And then my man says he wants to do another take, and that's
sorry,
when
excuse me, extra sheets, please.
that's when Luce was now like, I've seen this happen one too many times.
It's not nice.
Yeah, so
I told him because I saw Q, I was like, man, bro,
Let it go,
you
man.
don't chop us for this one. Just
Yeah.
leave it.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
nah.
no.
But then again, what's the rules to rappers recording at the same time? Do you say, okay, you go ahead, you know what, I'm not doing my verse now, do my verse, or is a session a session?
Okay, this is a fantastic question. Right?
Very.
There are people that need to get the music and sit in their comfort zone and do whatever, right? I think it has less to do with competition and it has more to do with being comfortable. Me, I could record anywhere. Like, ask him how we made this project. I recorded God Wants Us to Be Too Late and No Time, same day. I recorded By Your Side and Regrets, same day. Because I'll just pull up my script. He has a studio in his house, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And for chemistry issues, I was just like, when are you free?
Let's
I'll come.
yeah.
Let's be in the same
Yeah.
space. And it's just play the beat. The first thing I think of, I write and I record and I go home. I'm that comfortable in my skin and that comfortable in my dopeness to not do that back and forth.
Really?
Right?
Go
Yes,
there.
absolutely. You should know.
Okay.
But like the point I'm trying to make is there are people that can do that and there are people that can say, let me take the beats and record in my own studio at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
by
then
myself.
I'll send you the files.
Yeah.
And I feel as long as it results in dope music, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know the fans perceive it differently.
Like Tech was not around when we did Crown.
So like, when did you, I wanted to ask that
It
question. When did you
took
record?
Tech,
that was the
Crown
first
is the
song
first
we
song we recorded and the last song we recorded.
Oh, okay. Because he had to come and do his own.
Yeah.
He sent me, like, I bothered him, and he sent me the verse. Then it's like, okay, now we know what the full song sounds like.
Yeah.
Send me the data.
Oh.
That was another.
You should.
So he had to come to
few
CC
months.
studio
So he had
to-
to come to CC one
to
where
record.
mixing
But,
and mastering.
To really
record, yeah.
record it.
For that question that you asked, for the Crown song, Ghost finished first, so he had to go first.
Yeah, so that's how it happened. It's not
Yeah,
like
it's not like
Okay, so
yeah,
yeah,
we didn't plan
oh,
it.
my
Yeah.
verse is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
alright,
let's both go.
We're recording him while
I'm
you know.
writing.
So I think we both finished together
Yeah.
or about the same time. I think you just had one
I
thing
have
you
one
were
line I was trying to
trying
figure
to
out, yeah.
put together, and then so I just had to go.
Yeah.
So the way you hear the song
That's
is
the
the
way-
way
Yeah.
is the way
Yeah.
the thing
There was no-
Interesting.
happens.
We're going to go
Makes
like
sense,
deep
makes
into the
sense.
project and really break it down. But let's just start even with you guys, here. And like the atmosphere of hip hop, so far in the year, let's even start from the last time you were here, Luce.
Uh-huh.
And that whole
Oh, this is my first time.
Yeah, it's the first time.
Wow.
This is 2 times. Oh, no.
But
Oh,
that was
Sags,
a,
wow.
you know,
That was
What do you want with
that
me?
wasn't really like a loose interview. I came to play a role.
Yeah. And you
And he
you
played it well. And he played it well.
You played it well indeed. And from that conversation, that whole podcast, it just blew up into another conversation of, okay, hip hop, questioning like people who, we saying, oh, someone has sold out or you're not doing that much. We questioning, am I having that whole conversation? The podcast, your podcast, Middle Ground, bringing SDC on the
SDC on the
podcast as
podcast,
well,
yeah.
having, the conversations, moving into the next year, You rappers to fix up your life. Rappers saying, "Oh no, what the fuck? No, this and that." You know.
Oh, we
the
can
whole
cuss
back-
on this. This is awesome, man.
No, it's a podcast. You can't. You know, and all that whole
It's
stuff
not onto
happening,
podcast.
leading up to the point where you know, you guys are dropping an album. M drops an album.
Lamb
Black
August,
Gold's an
whatever,
album. Yeah, and Lamb August kind of. I don't know who's dropping after you guys. Are there any other rap projects dropping?
I don't know.
You know, but for now, like,
Yeah.
it seems like
This
these
is
are the
it,
projects
this is
ending
it.
the year. I'm sure a couple of albums will drop, you know, but like ending the year in Q4, so to say. August is Q3, but you get my point.
Yeah, but September is already here. So.
Yeah, so like, did any of those things inspire this project?
Indirectly, maybe. As far as sitting down having a conversation that because of this, let's do this. No, that never happened, right?
But no, I don't. For you, maybe, but because it was my idea. Like I'm like, I want to do a collaboration project. I don't want to I want to try something different. I don't just want to get into the studio and do a cue. Do you understand? So I wanted to see another person's creative process. Do you understand? At that point, I don't know if it was recording. At that point,
I wasn't.
Do you understand? So it wasn't planned. I just came into M's house one day and I'm like, yo, M, who do you think I can do a joint album with? And before M said anything, he said, me. And I'm like, you. And it's like, he's serious. Like, and I'm thinking like I've heard him.
Like, how does the chemistry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wondering like, how can you just say you? Did you think about it?
Yeah.
Like, you just, like if I had gone home and then maybe you hit me up on WhatsApp and said,
Yeah.
I thought about what you said and I think we can do.
Yeah.
But, and it was like, I'm serious. And I'm still trying to, and M is looking at me like, I'm just waiting for this answer. Like,
you know what's crazy? You know, and this is probably the first time.
M is the catalyst.
M is catalyst on this project, but
Project.
this is probably the first time we'll hear this. Me and M were just having a conversation that day about how this hip hop thing we're trying to do in Nigeria will never get anywhere if people don't join forces.
Facts.
True.
We were just having that conversation, and he didn't know this till possibly right now, right? We're just having that
So
conversation.
why did you keep this information from me?
It wasn't important.
Just shout out, just shout out to the Skinos and that.
Right?
Let's move on.
So
No.
and so it's not like we're having a conversation like, oh, you should do a joint project with. But you know how energy works. Energy doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie, right? So how are we having this conversation? This dude walks in the building talking about this.
The stars align.
You feel me? This is bigger than me. This is bigger than everybody in this
So
room.
wherever I was, like, they called, like, the forces hollered
Yeah.
at me like, yo, greatest. They need you. They need you right
Honestly, I
now.
didn't know that's what it was going to.
You're the greatest.
Yeah.
They need you.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
they're having these conversations, but they don't know how to put it together. So
I agree.
just go in there and, you know,
Okay.
do you.
All right. Okay.
Yes, you're right. You're
All
right.
right.
I believe,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Let's further this conversation.
Can we?
now. Yeah.
Move
So
forward.
when that happened, and like I said, the first time I met him, I didn't really fuck with the guy.
When-
Let me
when
tell you-
was
let
the
me
first
tell-
time
let
we
me-
met
let me
him?
tell-
No,
let
this
me-
must have
No,
been-
I mean I'd met him at
Different-
Wax Lyrical.
Let me
like,
tell you how
he
he
was-
did it. Let me, no, I'm
okay.
the one that I have the experience. This guy came very close.
What year was this?
Last year, bro.
Last year.
Oh, okay.
No, hold on.
No,
I'm saying
first
we
time
had
we
met-
met when I came
Yeah.
into CC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right? You
This
know,
guy-
let me sorry before you say this. Like, I don't know this dude, right? But even if I know something about him, we haven't had any personal. So
Yeah.
I run up on you, it's like, hey, what's up? What's good?
That's
Keep
all.
it moving.
That was
Keep it
our-
moving. That's
that was
our
our-
relationship,
yeah.
right? But the moment I see that we're gravitating towards the same circles, if there's anything that needs to be addressed, let's put that on
Address it,
table
yeah.
now and keep it moving.
So like I thought it was going to say something very important. Like it came very close. Do you understand? So I know at this point, right, we were supposed to be heading a record label
Yeah.
together. And this guy says, you know, I never liked you.
No, that's
and-
real.
Like really close. I'm like I'm, you know, struck. Like,
Yeah.
what's this saying? And then he goes on to say, and I'm like, what didn't you like about me? And he said, the way you move and the way you, I'm like, how do I move? Like, do you understand? Then, you know, some stuff about the past came up and everything. But it's the first time I found myself explaining to somebody. And I think it's the first time somebody has approached me like that. Because somebody just sees you and person just has an idea about you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And then I told him, like, yo, you can say all the stuff you want to say because you can't tell me you never recorded a diss track for somebody and Aldo said, or MI said, this thing is not coming out. But there was nobody to tell me that. I had no OG, 17-year-old in the game. Going here, rejection, going here,
Headhunting,
rejection,
right? So
going
it's like,
here,
fuck everybody.
rejection. Rest in peace, OJB. Silver
Silver
points,
points.
rejection. And that was the biggest thing in Surulere.
Yeah. Facts.
You know,
Biggest.
everywhere rejection. How you feel? Do you understand? So when I highlighted that point that, you know, I even told him that you can't tell me M did not record diss tracks for people. And Aldo said, no, this is not how
You
we're
don't
going to
need it.
move.
Yeah.
I didn't have no OG. Do you understand? So I recognize and I understand that I made mistakes. And then if you're going to judge me on that, then it's fine. But if you're willing to, and before I even got there, I said, no, the reason why I came to tell you this is that, do you understand? I want to know about you. I want to get to know how you move, but I see what you're doing, and you know we'll take it there together. So
when did you guys have that long ass conversation? You know, there's always one.
it's in M's house now. Everything happens in
That
M's
was
house.
last year. Like it was a conversation for me where this is the way I approached it. You can tell this person is working their butt off,
Yeah.
but the way our industry is set up, I could see that he was. Before as his name comes up in the conversation, there's at least 6 people in the room that are like, nah, we're not fucking with that.
Fuck with that dude.
Right? That fucks up the money.
Yeah.
That fucks up the money.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
whatever that problem is, we need to fix that
Address it,
now.
Yeah.
Before going any further.
Before going further.
I'm not trying to take no L's, my bro. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, listen, and that time when all this was happening, he was like, he wasn't scared of the confrontation.
Yeah.
So I understood the energy he was working on. I just didn't appreciate how he was going about it. So I'm the type of person where if I don't feel physically at risk and I don't feel financially at risk, do what you're doing now.
Just chill in the
I don't
car.
give a fuck.
Don't
Right?
fuck up the money, man.
Don't fuck up the money and don't touch me. Don't touch
touch me,
anybody.
yeah.
Don't make me be in a place wondering, oh shit, are they going to come?
Yeah,
Like
that's
because
right.
at that point now I have to act out of character and we have to
Yeah.
do some dumb shit. Right? So when we had that conversation, what struck me the most was when he told me, he was like, man, bro, you came up in a setup and in a situation where, and this has happened. There are times I've played a record for M. M was like, bro, if it's war, I'll go to bat for you. But I think this is a problem we don't need.
Right
so
now.
just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And he told me, I never had that.
That's-
I was the one making my decisions myself.
Yourself, yeah.
So I
Crazy,
feel the type
as a
of
young
way.
guy,
Yes,
yeah.
I feel the type of way.
go
I go in the studio, I make the record.
It's
There's
even
nobody
crazy. You
in
have
there that's
guys,
telling me,
your friends.
gassing you.
Gassing you up.
Q, come on, kill this nigga, man.
Do
Kill
this
this.
shit.
It's like what I was talking about on in Equalizer 2, right? I don't know if you guys are watching.
Yeah,
The
I've
same
seen
thing. You have that young kid who
Yeah.
his friends are telling him to
Yeah.
go and kill the guy
Yeah.
who killed his pops.
Yeah, but the
and there's
OG
one
step,
comes and,
yeah.
and comes and says, that's some dumbass shit
shit.
you want to do there. Chill. Calm
You
down.
don't want that smoke, yeah.
You don't want
so
that
that was a
smoke.
real statement that he made to me because, like, when we're having that conversation, I think we have a conversation of that ilk on camera, like,
Yeah, we
Right.
did that on camera.
Yeah.
because I feel young rappers in the game, young people in the game
need to hear that.
You need to look up to somebody, and when you start losing your way, you need somebody that you are not feeding. That so there's a bunch of people you are giving handouts. You are the biggest guy in the room. You go in the club, you are the guy buying all the bottles.
Yeah,
you are the
so-
guy telling the groupies, "Oh, you hit that nigga, you hit that,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom." You're the man.
They're never gonna
So there's
tell you
nobody in the room that can tell you like your shit
To
stinks,
come check you, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You need somebody
To check you.
to
man.
check you. Buhari needs somebody to call him and be like, "Bro,
How far?
you are moving crazy right now. What's
How
going
far?
on, right?" Yeah, you feel me? Everybody needs that person. Everybody needs somebody that's walking behind you when the whole crowd is hailing you and just telling you, "Listen, bro,
Really
you're just a
chill.
man.
Yeah, man.
Chill.
You're just a man. A bullet to the dome, you're
Yeah,
dead."
it's done.
Facts.
And you know if it's now go time and everybody says it's go time, then everybody stands
That's
behind.
Yeah,
fine.
then everybody
Yeah.
stands behind you and it's like,
Yeah.
"Listen,
That's fine.
we're going to die by
Yeah.
this." So when we had that conversation, and since that time, he's a smart guy,
Oh, I am.
right?
Oh, God.
I take all the compliments, all of it.
He's
You
a
want
smart-
all the smoke.
He's a smart guy, but more importantly, he's a business savvy guy.
I
Like
take
with the
all
music, right?
all the compliments.
And I think that's a part of him that most people don't see. So with 100 crowns, there are times he's just telling me, like, man, this is not going to work. And I'm not dumb enough to not see that he survived in this game for 10 years and more, being an indie. finding a way to put out these albums, finding a way to situate himself. Every company that wants to survive in this business needs to learn from him.
I take all the compliments.
Needs to learn from him
yeah.
or anybody that has traveled that road, right?
It's like big companies learning from disruptive small companies.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, I need to, what did you do? How are you moving with no budget, no support, no staff, nothing, and you are getting in these conversations with people who have a yearly budget?
Yeah.
You are competing, you are boxing over your, like,
I've taken all the compliments.
bitch, if you don't shut the fuck you know what? Let's go.
Balloons, break down what is 100 crowns.
100 Crowns is an idea that, God willing, would turn into what can revolutionize hip-hop music in Africa years to come. So the Chocolate City idea was Audu, Paul, and Yeyo, Yaya. And they came up with an idea that this is what they want to do with music.
Yeah.
And for more than 10 years, they successfully did that. They put out hit record after hit record, hit
Put out
artist after hit artist. And that is because they stuck to the, what's the word I'm looking for?
The vision.
The vision, right? The vision of this is what we are trying to do. We are not going to deviate. We are not going to compromise our standards. We are not going to compromise our principles. Principles are dangerous, by the way. Yeah. Right? But we are not going to compromise this. We are going to boom, boom, boom. And then they've done that. He's mad.
I just said boom, boom, boom.
I do it a lot too.
What was your own?
It's
It's boom, boom, boom. Oh,
because you already know what I mean.
It's not
Yeah,
blah,
like,
blah,
you know what
blah.
I'm so I'm just
Yeah,
like etc, whatever.
Yeah.
So we had an idea, and this idea, once again, I can't tell you people enough how important Emma Abaga is to almost everything we're doing, right?
Cool, yeah.
Because this 100 Crowns idea was conceived right here with him. It's the triumvirate. It's not like me and, right? He's like, do you know how powerful it would be if the two of you guys got together? You remember this conversation?
yeah.
And started a label that was purely hip hop. Because most young guys now, they don't have anybody to look up to
True.
when they want to make hip hop. Because, like, I mean, this guy had a few hip hop records back in the day, but then, boom.
Yeah.
And he's like, and me, I have a lot on my plate. I'm a label exec, so most of the artists I'm putting out right now are pop artists, boom. So I want a label that's not CBN, that's 100 Crowns.
Dedicated towards
Dedicated towards hip hop, right? And do you know how authentic and powerful it would be if it's two of the most respected lyricists in the game?
Yeah.
So he put that energy out there. Me and Q were having that conversation. Like I said, he's smart as a motherfucker. And
all compliments.
It's fine.
Just
okay,
Don't-
this will be the last one of my mom. Since you want to be like that. So we thought about it and we were like, okay. He's like, don't worry. Chocolate City gives you an umbrella. Just go and do hip hop proud. Go and put hip hop back where it needs to be. Go and do this thing. So we are doing that with Coronation. We are doing that with the album.
Coronation is the live show.
Yeah, it's a live show. We are doing that with the album. Waha Fest is coming. You know, that's the Chocolate City initiative. We are a part of that. And it's just with 100 Crowns, the name came from,
I brought crown, you brought 100.
right? Because the name, why I said 100 was, there's this mythical crown that they have all us rappers chasing,
Yeah.
Crown.
right? The
Crown, yeah.
And no, there's a bunch of crowns. We're all kings, bro.
So
This
is it-
guy, you're a king in Anthony Village. I'm a king in Ikeja. You're a king.
It's just a platform
It's
where
just a platform
anybody
where
can.
anybody could come through, and
Yeah.
it's about hip hop. It's not about you. You can't do it for 40 years. Jay will soon be gone,
Yeah, somebody will come.
and somebody will have to. There's going to be a new guy. So if you want to die on that crown, you get your head
get
cut
your
off
head
because
cut
you
off.
will
No
die.
kill,
You feel me?
Facts.
You didn't come with the crown. You're not going to take it with you. So don't be ashamed to crown the next person. Don't be ashamed to celebrate the next person. If it's bigger than us, like we claim it is, and it's about hip hop, let's do it. So that's where we got 100 Crowns from, because like the logo is "Don't leave your crown at home." We are all kings, right? Let's do it. So do you think hip hop would not be in a better space if every year there's a huge ass collaborative album between two hip hop heavyweights?
Makes sense.
It's a no-brainer. But then people have to get past a lot of the ego, a lot of the, because look, 20% of 1 million is better than 100% of 50K.
Definitely.
Do you understand? Because
It's not rocket science, bro. And we could do these things, but everybody is too busy getting in front of themselves to see the bigger picture and see that
The more the merrier, man.
let's bake a big ass cake and let everybody get a slice. Everybody eats, everybody's good, everybody wins.
Now, Luce, you've been in the cuts. And when it comes to hip hop, you've been right in the middle of it. Wax lyrical, let's talk about it. You've done it for years. A lot of people have climbed that stage that you know now who have broken out
Yep.
as artists.
Yeah.
Yep.
We saw Maz and Bazini performing at Basement Gig the other day. Oh, sorry, just Bazini. Maz couldn't
Maz
make
didn't
it.
pull up.
But you see, Bazini rapping, Eclipse was there. Eclipse was there. These are people that have climbed the stage.
Yep.
You know, like so many people. How has that? I mean, what's your take on how some of these guys got to make it? Some of these guys still struggling till
struggling.
now. Some of these guys went to get bank jobs.
Yep. I mean, that's how the cookie crumbles. You know, like it's going to happen that way. Not everybody will make it, which is sad, but it's the God honest truth. So I feel a sense of pride because I started Wax Lyrical as a 20-how-many-year-old boy that was sitting out a contract, right? So I didn't want to just sit down. I just got my first apartment at the time, so just rugs, fridge, little ass TV, bed. So, but this is independence for the first time in my life. I'm the man.
Yeah.
I could tell the chick, yo, come to my crib, and it's my crib. You know how your mama or your auntie.
so that's the
in her
first
room.
thing that came to your head when you
Hold
got
on,
the
I'm not-
apartment.
It's part of it, bro.
First thing.
It's one of the first
I think it
things.
was
I
the
just
first
got
thing.
my
You never
independence.
had-
Yeah.
you
So
never
I thought
had
it
that
was
first
No, my guys was the first thing. Now my guys can come and chill with me. They can
No,
leave
I'm
at
sorry.
12
I'm
midnight.
sorry.
Fuck those
I'm
niggas.
sorry. I've been chilling with these
You
guys.
don't come to my house. I don't see you.
I'm
What
not
are you
home.
talking about?
I'm not home.
That's the first thing that came to you.
It was one of the first things.
You
Yes.
know experience when they knock on your house and you keep quiet, you close everywhere. Just
My nigga, I got a girl here. Go do something else.
Go somewhere.
Go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, when your guys come, Abi.
I got a girl
I'm on the
here.
lights. I don't want to see you today,
when they
man.
call you,
I don't want
the
to
phone
see
will ring. You know, it's those Nokia phones, so you not hold the phone.
Blackberries and all that.
You hold
I don't want to see you today, man.
Yeah, so it was that space I was in, but I was sitting out a contract, and I didn't just want to sit on my hands and not do nothing,
Don't do anything.
right? So I was fortunate enough. My cousin at the point had a lounge with the band called Coco Lounge.
Yeah.
So they co-owned it or whatever, and so it was close to where I was staying. So I'll pull up there every day, sit down, they get me a drink. I'm there feeling like a bad guy because I'm sitting in VIP.
Yeah.
Chilling.
All that stupid ass shit, right? But you ain't making no money. And you are not impacting nothing.
Yeah.
You just leave your house, drink, go home.
Take those girls you are talking about to the apartment.
Yeah, but I mean, that gets old too.
I mean, how long you
How
been
long
doing?
you-
How many of them are you like, it gets old, right? So there was this night. Actually, what people don't know is the first Wax Local was me and Da Green that did it.
Wow.
DJ Maxi was playing. Da Green is there. That's one of the realest niggas ever.
I agree.
Because at that point, Coco Lounge just opened. It's a swanky spot.
Yeah.
Like it's the eat place.
It's upbeat, man.
Yeah.
Uptown, yeah.
Da Green, Pom 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 had popped off. What's the name of the second single?
Kondo.
Kondo.
Yeah, right. Was bubbling under. I think this was maybe a month before he died. Max. Da Green is in there drinking a bottle of stout. When it was cool to get a bottle of Hennessy, do all that bullshit. He's,
Just pin himself, bro.
the guy was just there with a chick, just trying to have a drink and just real street nigga. So Max is playing music. So my cousin Baba, he's like, oh, you could rap. There's not really too many patrons in the lounge. Max, do you have any hip hop beats? Play beats, let loose rap. So I go on stage there, he's playing, then I start spitting. Da Green asks, do you have another mic? Yeah, okay, let's go.
Yo.
Right?
I didn't even know about this. This information is new to me.
So Da Green is on stage with me and there's it's Lagos now. I don't understand the lick of Yoruba. Actually, I understand a few words, but I can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
This guy is going to kick a verse. That guy that was forming Porsche with that babe that he's trying to knock.
So start vibing into.
Vibing, he's losing his fucking mind, bro. He's losing his mind.
Crazy.
So now I have to times 2 it. I have to
Take it up a notch.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And the guy, he was just having fun. was just having fun. It was just kicking it.
Yeah.
So that's how the first wax lyrical happened. Then we like, oh, that's dope. I went to Babs. I'm excited. I'm like, I want to do this every week. What's the worst day for business here? This is why we did it on Mondays.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because
people have clubbed over there.
Yeah. Do you understand? Because you can't do that on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Thursday was their ladies' night. Yeah. Wednesday was their comedy night. So I'm like, what's the Monday? Okay, let's do a hip hop night here. Because no, it wasn't even about money. Trust me, bro. I never made a cent off.
That's like give me Monday.
You feel me, right? So it's like I just wanted a space where I'm not costing you anymore. You're going to cut on the AC anyways. You're going to cut on the gen anyways. You feel me? So I'm not costing you money. Hopefully we get to make some money. Let's do it. Wax Local took a turn for the different when MI called me one day. I mean, at this point we're friends, and he was like, yo, that rap thing you were doing, this thing, I want a night. But I want to do a Wax MI as Kanye West. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody remember?
Yeah.
I remember like that.
So
See,
normally
coming to Wax Lyrical, yeah.
But like a sojourn.
Guy, coming to Wax Lyrical, like I remember my first Wax Lyrical, getting there.
Like you're bumping into like, oh, fam.
It was like
you hear the music from the elevator.
It was like going to the fucking Grammys. You can't understand. I saw Wizkid. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where
Wiz,
one of the maddest
what's his
editions.
face?
See, coming to Wax Lyrical, the experience, and the first one I am going home. The experience alone.
Exactly
when I was telling
face.
my guys.
The only thing that will be running through your mind is I can't wait for next Monday.
Yeah. That's all.
That's
the
only thing that will be
experience.
running through your mind.
I know what's
Jack
crazy about
Poet,
it.
Loose.
Yeah,
First of
shout
all,
out Jack Poet. I ran into him the other day and I fought him because we were on some bullshit. Real nigga. Shout out to
the
that
freestyle
Poet.
sessions that first happened before the performance.
Then
Then I was working for a label at the time. Later I started working
yeah,
for a
I
label.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what's beautiful about this. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah,
I was just happy to be there.
Come through and
yes.
Rappers on rappers on rappers.
So the day we did the MI thing,
the
place was so packed they had to shut the building down.
I'm telling you, see, Steve, do you know how packed this is?
People be standing on people.
The lounge is packed.
Outside.
Like
so
it's
those
the
cinemas are like, yo.
Near the elevator is
I mean,
packed.
we all know about all this
Downstairs,
one.
like
What's going on?
This guy.
The whole place is just packed. It's annoyingly packed everywhere.
So so when M did it, then he's like, man, bro, I think you're onto something. This is when we're starting the loopy music conversation. This is where he was making illegal music too.
Yeah.
Right.
So you recorded Lost.
The beautiful thing about that was the boy is a genius, man. He will tell me, it's like, who are the hottest rappers on your stage? I'm making a tape.
I'm fact be fact. That's I am too hard.
All of them.
Let's give them a yes. That's the idea.
It was all the Wax Lyrical boys that appeared on the tape.
Who are the hottest rappers? Who are the people you can vouch for? I'm making this tape.
You see the importance of a platform. That's the importance of a platform.
That was all him. He did and he was just. He's the big homie. He's my friend, but he's the big homie, right?
This is the conversation we're having before you guys came in.
Yeah.
Just having
We're talking about illegal music too and how the young rappers were on it.
Yeah.
And he did that just off of, I like the energy of what you are creating there. I have
Let me put it on
Yeah,
tape.
let me put it.
Let me mark.
So
mark
Phenom.
Yeah.
Phenom.
And the Max an era.
Yeah, I saw that Phenom boy. Give me his number. Phenom had to come, I think, twice to do this thing.
Yes.
Price that time, I think he was discussing Chocolate City deal with her.
Yeah.
Who else again?
Phenom.
Makila,
Bob the Hitman,
5 mics.
Effa, 5
mics.
mics. You know, that whole energy.
They didn't call me though.
No,
He
you
wasn't
know,
fucking around.
you had already dissed them or something.
This nigga had a problem with everybody.
AQ, I'm coming to you. I'm just trying to curate. And I've done an amazing interview with Loose Cannon already. We're going to put it on podcast. It's on YouTube, but we're going to put it on podcast for you guys to listen to. But I just wanted you to talk about that era. There's also one thing I want to talk about that both of you experienced. There's an era, I think peak hip hop in Nigeria, if I dare say, is between 2009 and 2011. Because that's the era where everybody blew up. Neto was that era. Club Rockaway was that era.
Is that
It's also the era. Is also, and I'll tell you why I feel. This is my opinion. Because this is when Neto's, the M's, and everybody dropped the albums. The EK, everybody. Then 2010 is the highest number of hip hop releases ever. Vector. That's when the Terrys, everybody came back. Ferocious. Too many albums dropped then. M dropped, the album. Jesse dropped earlier in the year. Fantastic.
09,
But a very important era that is not curated is that underground era. I'm talking about Straight Butter, AQ, Loose Cannon, Caliphate,
5 mics.
5 mics.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah,
era,
yeah,
the Club
yeah.
Rockaway era,
Faculty.
these guys, the Faculty, all these guys. Era is not documented.
Like, it seems lost.
It's so painful that era is not documented. It's nowhere.
Mm.
And I think it's very important for journalists, right? And you know, if you call yourself a blogger or you have like a YouTube channel and everything,
But I think it's happening
when
now too.
people need to
start
curate these
being- it's
eras. It's
happening
very
now too.
important.
The underground hip
The
hop
underground
scene.
is bubbling
Yeah.
up back again.
But it has to be curated. That's why people in media, it's very important. You have to curate these eras. I mean, I tried, you know, I had a blog at the time. There was NigerianPop.net.
Yeah, what was the
Not
name?
just
You were
Rhymes
doing your
Yeah,
bit, I remember.
Rhymesville.
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
doing your bit, right?
NJO at the time. Shout out to my guys. I love them to death, Ovi and Demola. But they weren't really fucking with these guys.
Yeah.
It was
J-
Lala Boy that put my stuff up
Yeah.
there for the first time.
So like not to hit them, like that was the direction. They were doing more mainstream
Yeah,
pop
that's-
music,
that's
which
where
is
the
what
clicks-
their
that's
direction.
what
we
yeah.
were doing.
Because everybody
And we
has
could all
everybody,
understand that.
Exactly. Everybody has a direction in which they want to take. But it's crazy how you ask a young hip hop fan right now and say Straight Butter and they're like, who's that?
Yeah.
It's so painful, man. You know, or Craft as a magic producer.
Caliphate.
You get what I'm saying?
All the beats doing
Like
that.
it's so painful.
Shout out to
not,
Kraft, he's married now.
Yeah, it's so painful not to be able to.
out there like that.
I don't understand it.
You
But
see
it's
the
no,
problem?
it's
You see the problem?
You can talk too much.
You see the problem?
not what?
Moving
You know.
on.
Anyhow, moving
complaining?
on. AQ, let's move on to you.
Yeah.
First time
No, let me first ask him, like, are you happy now, like in the States? Because in the record you're saying, trying to sell these records to confuse kids. God, you gotta come quick before I quit, something like that.
Yeah, that's Hustler's Prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
that's
And,
Are you?
The
and-
best track on the project.
Okay.
I'll be sure on that.
I think it's definitely the best track on the project.
Everybody has their greatest fears,
Yeah.
right? So when I want to start making an album, I'm thinking like, what are they going to like? And how can I infuse me in what they like? So I remove myself totally from the equation. Do you understand? And when I now ask myself this question about what do they like, and it's just very confusing.
Very, very
Do you understand? Because you see somebody tweeting at different ends of the equator. Like you can tweet Timaya today and now say that, man, I'm feeling this boogie guy. And
Yeah, trying to find the balance.
do you understand? Like what's going
do I
on?
do,
Like,
yeah?
and then he's posting something about him dancing to Weezy in the club.
So
Do you
very
understand?
polarizing.
Yeah, so you're thinking like, what do they actually like? So that's the answer. But it's not about unhappiness. It's that space you're in where these are my fears, right? And if nothing big happens right now, I might start considering it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like nothing really big. I'm in a space where I'm very okay. I'm not complaining, but you're looking at your bank account and you now have more responsibilities. And at that time, you just want to shoot videos and you just want to put it out there. But now, somebody's calling you like, hey, we just saw you on TV.
Yeah,
The
man.
money's coming in.
What's up?
Do you understand? You're getting
married
older.
now?
No, I'm not married. You're thinking
You
about
have
it.
kids?
No, I don't. But you're thinking
None that
about
he knows
it.
of.
Do you understand?
Yeah, that's true.
You're thinking about it and you're like, you need something bigger than this. When I did Rose and the checks came in,
Fantastic project.
do you understand? I was very happy. I was comfortable. Do you understand? I was like, but then I did Bless Forever and the checks came in and I started to feel like it's not enough. Right? Do you understand? So you now want to do more. You know, at that point you're surprised, like, yo, I'm making money. Do you understand? But you now want to do more. You don't want to shoot 400, 500K videos anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I was tweeting that thing. And I was actually depressed when I tweeted that stuff, like, because now I want to do more, and the money that you thought what you were making is no longer enough. So that's where that verse came from. You know,
State of mind, that's
yeah,
it.
at that
That's
point.
dope.
But I'm very happy
So,
to
but-
answer your question. Very, very happy.
I mean,
Very,
but
very, very.
you know, your journey to happiness, you know, didn't just start yesterday. Like, started a long time ago. Like I said, I was probably in secondary school when I was watching you, you know, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
That's so
dissing
deep.
everybody.
I didn't like it when I
You
said.
know,
the
see-
first one who
I
this
was
unknown
very-
guy dissing everybody.
I was-
And that's the feel everybody gets when they meet me. And
Yeah,
I
but-
understand it now
Yeah.
because they don't have it
It
now.
was that whole how to rob 50 Cent kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I feel
know,
like, why-
when you go ahead and diss everybody. I mean, who disses Silver Point? OJB.
Rocket Man back
OJB
then.
gives you hate.
But it was not OJB, it
that's
wasn't OJB.
No, but it was Silver
Like-
Point.
Yeah, but
and
it was-
all
Mention
the
it
all
earlier, so I
rappers.
understood.
And-
Yeah, the rejection.
The rejection.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
true,
understand?
Lyric Boy.
Yeah, too.
But
Like,
Steve, here's
yo,
the
I'm
thing,
good.
From,
Yeah.
from,
Why don't you
from
guys
my
want to let
perspective as
me?
a fan
Yeah, you
of
asked-
hip hop,
yeah.
I don't see the rejection.
True.
I just see this guy angry and bitter at a buzzing industry.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fine because he was rapping, it was cool. Then, you know, I got to experience the other records and, you know, listen and understand, you know, some of the earlier stuff. I've always downloaded it and all that. And I remember Unilag's Finest, right? The second edition. The one where
I had a song there.
the one where this guy, where's that guy that won?
Oh, who won?
Ah,
That's
fuck. One kid won. That he kind of he used to come to Wax Lyrical to rap.
Yeah, they're plenty.
Max.
Eh?
Maximum.
Was it? No, not Maximum. No, not Maximum. Maximum was not Maximum. That, anyways, it was the second edition where Sans Sultan used to come through, Terry used to come through.
I remember the
Mode 9
edition,
was
I'm
a
just trying to remember
judge.
who won.
MI was the host.
I'm trying to remember who won.
That we used to do at British Council.
Council.
Hold
That's
on.
Wappy.
So that Wappy. So
Yeah.
that's words and pictures. So that's the time I was bumping into MI. I remember that was the first time I saw AQ.
AQ.
They had just finished a set, right? And this is so fucking funny. Because AQ is storming out of British Council at Ikoyi with some of his guys. And he was like, whack shit. I don't know.
That was AQ back there.
Typical AQ. And that's the first time I was just
I
looking
wasn't
at
there,
it.
but I believe he won 100%. I believe he won 100%.
You understand? And I was like, why is this guy always annoyed?
What's going on?
You know?
Can I
So-
explain that emotion?
Yeah.
It's not the songs. It's not the rap. It's the fact that this guy knows this guy knows this guy, So it's just one big happy family there.
So
Do
get
you
in the
understand?
family, bro.
Then I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm
you're
like
not seeing
outside.
it like you see. Let me tell you something there. Like he said, you can say I'm smart now, but it's all those things. I constantly had to operate outside that family, so I had to find a way. So while it affected me, right? Because while everybody was going to Alaba, I'm like, they're not going to take my stuff anyway, so I have to find a way to market.
To sell this,
Do
market
you
this
understand?
and sell
So
it, yeah.
I started going to ShopRite, instead, you know, okay, these guys are selling their stuff for $80, you know, and then I have to understand the system. They're selling for 80 or 60 naira, so the artists get this, but they're going to do like 100,000, 200,000.
Copies.
But I can only do 1,000 or 2,000 at the max 10,000. So I can't sell at $100 or 150 on the
Has to be,
streets.
yeah.
Has to be more. So I started to sell at 300, you know, and then I caught the first 3,000 copies.
Which tape was this?
Let's listen and understand.
Yeah.
And I caught the first 3,000 copies. I got that money from my mom, my brother, and it was still not enough. And then somebody gave me some money, and the person was like, "Yo, you got to pay me back with interest."
Yo.
And it was stupid interest because I
Real
was
rap.
young. I just felt like I needed the money.
So you took the deal.
So I took the deal. At that point, I needed to shoot a video. I shot Rap Nigeria, and that was some of the money.
Mhm.
And then,
Who shot the video?
bro, we took a camcorder to the streets, man.
Alright.
You can edit, right? Just do anything. This is my concept. Do you understand? And then, shout out to Joke Jaisime. I took the video to her.
Shout
and
out
she-
to Jockey Jai.
She said she wasn't going to
Legends.
play it. And then I refused to leave her office. And so every day I'll come there, I'll wait outside, and she'll pass me going home, I'll still be there. You know, people don't know about these things, just see. And then one day she said, I am not playing your video because that's just all I wanted. I know I look like trash, I'm a young boy and this thing, because the quality, the guy that rendered your video did not render it at something. Excuse me, please, can you say that again? Do you understand? He needs a fire, do you understand? So he needs to take it from the system straight to the tape. Do Do you understand? Your video is very good, but I can't play
You
it.
have to export it properly.
I got the information I needed. Yo, this is what she said. But I don't have firewire, I don't have this thing, this thing.
Village.
Straight. And then we got it, and she was, hey. And she gave it, as in she kept on slamming it. And that's why you saw it when you were in secondary school. So,
Shout out to Jogging guys.
yeah, so I had to constantly operate outside the circle.
Yeah.
And, you know, at some point, you're sitting down and you're looking at these guys that are, you know, when you see did Kenny Big Deal, I listened to it, it was such a great record. And I was like, nah, I can't do this. Do you understand? And you're asking yourself, why is it happening for these guys and it's not happening to you? And then at one point, you know, I realized that you need to move this way to get to this point. So I understood why I was rapping. You know, sometimes you're just rapping and you don't know why you're rapping. I understood all the rejection. I understood everything, built me up to this point so that, of course, when hip-hop needs a savior, I can now step forward. Because right now, that I said that to say, not in those
and
terms.
that's why we didn't
But
even
yeah,
bother.
you understand? But right now, if I see a young artist moving like this, I'll tell him like, yo, I've done this before, it's not going to work. Do you understand? So I don't think it's being smart. I think I'm just experienced. So when in 100 Crowns we want to do something, I'm just looking at it like, I've tried this shit, man, it didn't work. But when I did it like this, I saw some results. So imagine putting
This
your
effort or
platform, do you
resources,
understand, behind it. If I got some results as a independent artist with no, you know, it will go all the way. You understand? So all those things molded me to the point where I can say, Black Bones, let's go to Chocolate City. You have everything, but the only thing you don't have is a platform. And everybody's wondering what I'm seeing.
So it's that independent and dependent thing, right? So looking at how, like a corporation, like
Do you understand?
Chalk
Yeah,
City moves,
yeah.
then
Do you
looking at
understand?
how independent artists moves, they're merging.
Let me
both of them
give
together.
him his own compliment, but it's real facts. Do you understand? So every time I come to Chocolate City, and I bring an idea, they're like,
Come in and
They're
tell me, what
like-
is wrong with you? You don't want
they're
to
like, no, they're like, no, you know. Then I call Loose Cannon and I'm like, they're not even giving me the chance to explain.
explain.
So please listen to me. And he just sits down there, and he doesn't come up as somebody that listens. Like when you just see him for the first time, doesn't.
and he talked about
Do you understand?
compliments.
Yeah, no, yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, and this guy's listening to me, and I'm like, wow. Do you understand? Like he's listening, you know, and I go and, you know, I talk, you know, I go
Yeah,
on
you
and
talk
go on.
a lot. You
Yeah,
talk quite a lot.
I can, but sometimes I can be just mute. And he's now like, you know what? I'll call M about this. And in fact, let's call him now. And then things started happening. Do you understand? Like when Black came to CC, we're not really sure. Do you understand? Even Black was not really sure. And I'm like, yo. And I told Luce, like, this guy can pop. And everybody's still wondering. Do you understand? And Luce is like, let's go with it. Do you understand? And then Bad Boy, we couldn't distribute it, but you know, then the label starts feeling some kind of way because, you know, the beat was an online beat, and the label starts, we can't put our mechanism behind this
Yeah,
and
because
everything.
you know the corporates.
And then
I
I tell Luce like, yo, we'll release it without marketing it.
Yeah.
And you know, and Luce is like, let's go with it. I'll call them, and then we put it out, and a madness. Like, I know people don't really track these things, but I do.
Yeah.
You know, so I can tell you that really big artists don't get some of the traction that young artists. When
That's
you
facts.
Because
when
there's
you
also
go
a
per
younger
click,
fan base.
per
culture.
comment,
Yeah,
per
stream,
response,
everything.
per post, per you're looking at the traction, like, you know. So, you know, back then when M said these impressions,
Yeah.
and then I'm looking at it like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Who gives a fuck about impressions? Oh,
Plays a lot.
I can walk into a company and say, look at the impressions.
Yeah.
Give me money. Because if your brand was on all of this,
People would have seen it.
do you understand?
Yeah.
So I can understand, you know, so I start checking for all those stuff, and I'm looking at this guy. I looked into Black, and I got to find out that these guy's fans are not hip-hop fans. That's where I decided that I'm going to work with this guy.
So what kind of fans does he have?
They're just young university boys.
That's all.
That's all. They want to dress like him. They want to. When I realized that he did not have, like, yo, this guy is not following me. Because if you check a lot of hip hop artists, this guy, you know, is like a circle.
Yeah.
You know, the followers are like a
But
circle.
I also think Black Bones kind of flipped it.
They flipped it.
No. Even before he
very
flipped it, he had this song. Before Rambo, he had this song that, you know, I was hearing everywhere in different schools. Do you understand? Something kills mosquito. I forgot the name of the song. Do you understand? And I was hearing it everywhere, and I'm like, this guy. Okay, where it happened for me, and I decided that this guy Black is different. Was we were at a show, Battle of the Year in Unilag, and they were calling names, and the Unilag students were just like sitting down. Sorry, I'm making this conversation about Black Bones, but I got to sell the guy. And right, call names. I can't name the names that they were calling, but do you understand? They even called me. Bro. When they called me, if you drop needle or pin, you go hear the sound. But I ended up killing the show, though.
Yeah,
But,
We know.
but when they called Black, standing ovation, and I'm like, what's going on here? And you know what? He didn't take it as anything.
Yeah.
So I met him after the show, and I was like, they know you here. And I was like, yeah, I've gone to a couple schools, so they know me. And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, and you don't know what that means. Like, this is the kind of ovation a YC would have. So in my mind, I just kept it. And as soon as the MI thing started coming through and everything, I'm like, I mean, I could have pushed Jay. I could have pushed anybody on my camp. Do you understand? But this is money, and I have to prove myself for this guy to understand that.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's doing. And like, I just, Black, he already had the contract. He was still like signing, and this is where he's very important. Do you understand? Because even after Black signed, there was no plans, and then I tell Luce that we're going on a zero budget, and this is, let me talk like, I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
That's stupid. I don't talk like that.
So Luce,
Yeah.
when did the concept of Lamb August come about?
That is totally the idea of M and his staff, the PR team. He started with the PR team. They came up with that. Then they called me and Q.
So these projects were ready to roll out at different times.
This project's been ready. You know, Young Denzel
Yeah.
has been ready.
Yeah,
Right?
heard
You know,
it, yeah.
we were done recording in February.
This project was done in
This
February.
project was supposed to be out
April.
June what? June 20.
No, we had the April date.
No, but M wasn't done
Yeah.
tweaking.
Yeah.
I'm saying when he gave us final boom, and then the dude is an asshole, right? So we're done with the project, mixed and mastered. Then he put it on his iPhone. Then it's like, guy, come, I'll play something for you. Then sit in the car. Then he's going to, boom, out of this world start playing. I was like, man, congratulate me on my classic. I did this. You know, he'll be talking his shit, right? Like, so it was done for June. I think we're supposed to come out end of June. That's the plan me and Q had, right? So, but M will always be like, no, actually, we weren't even talking to M at that point. We're talking about to marketing and positioning the record for when it drops.
Yeah.
Then we settled on July 20th. We're going to put out the project July 20th. July, when was the day I made the phone call to you and I told you, I said, we're going to do a rollout, the Kanye-esque type of rollout.
And I was feeling some type of way
Q
about
felt a
it.
type of way about it. I'm like, if you're not going to do this for me, do this for Black Bones, because Black Bones will be the biggest beneficiary.
Yeah,
of
he
this
needs
process.
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
he needs
yeah.
Right? He needs it more than any of us.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. We'll find our home. We'll know how we'll
yeah.
navigate this shit, right? And he's like, you know what? I hear what you're saying. Let's go.
I'm with it.
Right? Right? So we come to the office and the PR guy sits us down. He's like, man, so we had a meeting with M. We came up with a few ideas to put this thing. How about Lamb August? Me and Q look at ourselves like,
Like, are we slaughtering a lamb in August?
like,
What's that?
okay, you know what? I'm gonna let you finish.
Corny.
15 minutes into the conversation, we are looking at ourselves like,
Shit is good.
these guys might be on this. So, like, it's the genius and the brains of M and his PR team, because they the Monday meetings, he comes to the office. He's in the office, one of the first people, 7 a.m., and he meets with every department. What are you doing? Boom, 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 boom. That leadership, I ain't got time to be in the office Monday morning. I get there at like 1 p.m., honestly. Right?
I don't get that at all.
He doesn't come at all, right? M is there 7 a.m., bro. And so they had that meeting, and they were like, this is how we're going to move. And we're like, sounds like a plan. Let's go. So they came up with Lamb August, Sacrifice for Hip Hop, because these are really hip hop projects. And these are projects that you can't listen to the whole project and say, oh, this song was made for radio.
Yeah.
You feel me? This song was made for radio. And that's difficult to sell in the climate we're in.
Yeah.
But if we claim we want to save hip hop, we have to make sacrifices. So we have to really put the effort behind the music and hope the music does what we feel it can do. Pretty much.
Fantastic. I mean, it's dope rollout. And like you said, Black Bones just at the end of it.
Trying to take everything, make it all.
It's a big deal, and I like, because the boy is special. I wasn't sold, but there's Q.
I mean, we saw him perform yesterday at the Basement Gig.
No, now there's nothing Black Bones is telling me that I'm not agreeing. Now I'm a yes man for Black Bones. Black Bones say, bro, we need to shoot this video. I'll get back to you tomorrow how we raise the money. That money has to come out, right? But I wasn't. M first was like, this boy is special. This boy. Then Q is not that aggressive with his. He's like, man, listen, man, I promise you, this the dude. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I heard that about a bunch of times, right? This the guy.
Black Bones is rapping. He be rapping, man.
He's been rapping.
His 216 projects sold me. Like,
He's been rapping.
Yeah.
When I heard that project, I'm like, nah, this guy.
So it's not just, for me, it's not just the
the
rap.
way he evolved too.
Yeah.
It makes you understand that he
Yeah.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He evolved
How many young rappers can make a record like Play? That's a huge record.
Yeah.
That's a big record. The day he sent me the record, he was in the studio. He was still recording the song when he sent it to me.
So he sent it to two of us at the same time.
So I'm trying to call Q. This is a funny story. I'm trying to call Q. He says number busy. Then he calls me. He's like, Bones just sent me a record. I'm like,
Hey, boy,
bruh.
I got it. I'm
He's
with
like,
it.
I'm with it. So our fear was like, it wasn't rap, but we were like, yo. So Luce was like, let's tell him to put a rap verse at
verse
the
on
end.
it, yeah.
At
Which
the
he
end
tried.
of the
He
song.
put a rap verse.
Yeah.
And we were like,
Then
we're
he
not
took
with
it
it.
And like,
That's what it is.
it's
Do
a
what
dope
you want to
record.
do.
Yeah,
dope
just-
record.
yeah.
It's
Dope
just-
record.
the record will find its home regardless. So I feel like with this Lamb August, and his project is amazing. Bad Boy Black is amazing. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I mean, I know you guys have heard Crown, you've heard Young Denzel.
Yeah.
Two fantastic bodies of work.
Fantastic.
Black is calling.
Put him on the phone. Put him on the phone.
Put him on the phone. Oh,
I'm calling
missed the
back.
call.
Calling back.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like, and
Will they hear me?
trust me,
Yeah.
we didn't come here.
Trying to call back.
Yeah.
It might be
calling me.
emergency. Make we remove him from
Because
food.
Black can make phone calls,
Oh.
and it's going to be on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, boss, man, I was just thinking, man.
Yeah.
Like, then he's going to run you through this 3 minutes. Who that?
Is it him? Is
Is
it
it
him?
him?
You got me black.
Yes. It's him. It's some bullshit.
Put him on the phone, man.
What the fuck you want? What you want? I'm not your boss. Don't be calling me boss. How far now? Okay, I need to tell you two things. Number one, you're about to be live on air at the Loose Talk podcast. So don't say anything that embarrasses
Loose Kanyon
yourself.
Talk podcast.
What the fuck is that?
You hear me?
So are you guys are going for the Rizzy thing tomorrow? Rizzy
What's he talking about?
rap concert.
He didn't hear you. He didn't hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Rizzy.
He didn't hear you. He didn't hear you for the podcast.
I say you are live on air right now. So say what's up to Osags and Ayo and Steve.
Yo,
You're just a humble guy. We know. Don't start with that.
See, that you stupid. Everyone was talking about yesterday. My husband just said, what you
Bones, you know what happened?
go at all time, man.
Okay,
Bones,
that's
what's up?
Tell them about your project real quick. Tell them about Bad Boy Black project.
Bad Boy Black, August 31st, man. Like, we turning everywhere upside down, man. Like, instructions. We're giving them everything. Like, but I'm just being humble, though. Like, if I was being proud about it, I'm humble.
Okay, that's cool, my nigga. Bye. I'll call you when we're done.
All right, bro.
All right, cheers.
All right, man. Let's get into the Crown project.
No. Let's first. I want to go back with AQ first, man.
Okay.
I want to ask you about the distraction record you and Vector.
All the smoke. Oh, I'm
Let's
ready.
go back because at the end of the
No,
day,
thank you.
I still feel like we need an extended AQ problem.
yeah.
Go ahead.
At the end of the day, this song like is
A lot of people that
distraction,
a lot of people
yeah,
that heard of
yeah.
me the first time heard me on that record. Every university I've gone to, most people
on
had
distraction.
distractions.
Yeah, man.
So why didn't you perform it on the road the other day?
It's old, and I got new stuff to perform.
Yeah.
Come on,
Alright,
man.
fair enough.
And a different energy now.
Yeah, I'm not on that energy
Yeah.
yet. So so a song comes out. Sorry, I'll skip names. So
Like, how did you guys what did you guys record it at the same time? on the
Vector
stage?
used to be my homie.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not on that energy, bro.
No, but
Let's
I'm
leave it
just
alone.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah.
It's a line, you know. So we were really close then, and not really close, but close.
Yeah.
And then a song came out, and I was like, "Yo, what are you going to do about it?" And it was like, "What do you want me to do about it?" That he's on a different stuff now, but he will get back to that. So he came by the studio one day, and he said he wanted a beat. Actually, the concept of the beat was from him, and Jay made the beat, and we gave it to him, and then we didn't hear from him again. So I was in Abuja, and then Vector calls me, and he's like, "Yo, Q, let's do something, man. You know, these young guys, they're not inspired. Do you understand? Let's do something." And that's why my verse was like that. Like, if you listen to my verse, I was trying to inspire somebody. It was like, "Yo, these guys are not inspired, man. Let's do this. Let's do something." When I said, "I'm in Abuja now. When are you coming back?" And like, as soon as you come back, just hit the studio and let's do something. So I get to the studio in the morning. Everybody's there. T-Rex, Vector, and the beats. I played the beats, and there was the argument on who was going to go first. I usually don't have that problem anyway, so I just went in. I did my thing, and then it was his turn to go in. And then people would not know this, but I didn't know he was going to go off like that.